How's everybody doing today? My name is Sean. Welcome to the Dragon Slayer. What we're going to be working on today is our side kick, or yeop-chagi. The Korean term is yeop-chagi. I'm going to start this off a little bit different because this is going to be the first one that I'm going to show when I'm not going to be kicking with my back leg. It's a little bit easier to show this with a front leg, or even what I'm going to show you now is with your feet basically together. So before we get into that, what is a side kick? It's kind of in the name. We're going to be kicking basically sideways. So if you're my target, I'm going to position myself almost completely, I guess that would be what, perpendicular to you. And I'm going to be kicking sideways this way at you. So I'm going to bring my helper here. I can show you a little bit better. So what I mean by that is my leg is going to come straight at you, straight at the target this way. So if we were starting in a fighting stance, which I'll get to in a little bit, we have to get our body position turned all the way over. Our knee is going to be up here. My hip is going to be pointing at the target, okay? So from this position too, and you can see one of the reasons I'm showing starting sideways already with my feet together is that plant foot, which is going to be my left foot. We need to be at least 90 degrees from our target, preferably more. The further you can turn that foot, the easier this kick is going to be and the higher you can kick. All right. So we're going to start at least 90 degrees. This leg is going to come all the way over. My hip is pointing at the target. Now my leg here, I don't want it too far down, and I definitely don't want it up here, okay? So I'm gonna have this basically making a 90 degree as well. Now when I'm kicking, I'm gonna be hitting with the side of my foot, and if I'm doing a board break, definitely gonna be using my heel. So the edge of your foot is okay, and the heel is okay, all right? So again here, we're getting to this position. I've got my foot beyond 90 degrees. I've got my leg chambered at 90 degrees. Now I'm gonna take my foot and I'm gonna drive it towards my target here, okay? And then it comes back and down. All right, so a few things happen with that. When I'm driving at the target, after I get in this position here, right? I'm driving. I don't just stay here and put my foot out, right? My upper body, my torso is going to go this way while my foot goes this way. And you can see how much I'm able to push that hip and drive my hip as well towards the target, okay? So a couple more times like this, all right? Knee comes up, that foot gets rotated, my foot and my hip straight towards the target, okay? Now, what does that look like without a support chair? All right, so again, if I'm starting here with my feet sideways, 90 degrees from the target, it's got to come up, out, back, and down. Much like how we did the front kick and roundhouse. Hopefully I can figure out how to put a banner in one of these. I think it's going to be this corner, a banner. You can watch front kick and roundhouse. Similar, the up, out, back, and down. But this one, there's a lot more steps. Again, I'm showing with the front leg, okay? So we'll go facing this direction, and I'm going to kick here. Knee comes up. I'm getting that hip and foot towards the target. Out, back, and down. All right, so now if I'm in a fighting stance, I'll stick with my right leg. So I'm going to be right foot forward now. If I'm in a fighting stance, how do I get there? Again, this is going to be front leg. We'll get to the back leg in a second. All right, it's going to be the same thing basically. So if my feet in a good fighting stance, I'm going to be pointing kind of that direction, right? So like I was just showing, I got to get everything turned. So the first part is I need to turn. Again, this is my target here. I need to get everything turned this direction. So when this comes up, I need to turn that foot because remember, I got to get 90 degrees or more to get a good side kick. So I'm not anywhere near 90 degrees right now. So when this comes up, that has to rotate, okay? Here, out, back, and then everything comes back, okay? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and go left foot forward. I'm still kicking with my right leg. I'm still kicking with the same leg. How do I do this from a good fighting stance with my back leg? This is kind of where it gets a little bit more difficult. You have to have decent flexibility. You have to have good balance. So I'm gonna do this slow. I'm gonna use my helper again because doing this slow is much more difficult. All right, so again, I'm in my fighting stance here. I'm gonna be using my back leg. How do I get my back leg over here and get everything turned? It's a big upper body move. You have to turn everything all at once, okay? So now I'm gonna take my back leg and I'm gonna bring it up like I'm doing a front kick, okay? So my knee is bent here. So it comes forward and then over. And you see that big movement with my plant foot. All right, I'm gonna do that on this side here. So if I'm kicking this way, you can watch my plant foot because my front leg or my back leg is gonna come up like a front kick here, bent. It's already moving. Then I gotta turn, big movement with that plant foot because again, I gotta get beyond 90. Now my leg is here and I'm ready to kick. Now, easier is I'm gonna land right foot forward now, okay? Much more difficult is coming from this position, up, over, out, return, everything comes back, okay? That's so much harder, but you'll get there, all right? Work on this first part before worrying about how to land back or return to a left leg forward fighting stance if you're kicking with your back leg. Either way, if you're kicking with your left leg or if you're kicking with your right leg. If you're returning to, in my case, left leg forward, kicking with my right leg, returning here, that you need to learn how to do the side kick, and you need to do it fairly well before you're able to get everything out and everything back. Again, I'm going to go slow. This is going to come forward like that front kick, turn over, extend, back, everything comes back, okay? Now without the helper, you can see how much I'm going to have to move my upper body to get this rotated. This is where it becomes hard, and especially on a floor like this where it's sticky. If you're training on like a gym floor, if you're training on carpet, or even a better floor than this where you don't have as much grip, it's so much easier. But having the grip on this style of floor makes it exponentially more difficult for trying to return back. All right, again, I'm going to go a little bit slow. Comes up, over, out, back, everything comes back, okay? So if I go a little bit more full speed, I'm going to do this one and I'm going to land forward with this. So what does it look like when you do a nice back leg side kick and landing forward? All right, here, out, and back. So again, if we want to practice, it's so much easier to practice your side kick standing not quite in a horseback riding stance, but I'm going to keep my feet a little bit shoulder width apart. So my targets are actually going to be to my left and right, just like how we started. All right, so now I can go both ways. I can bring it up, out, back, down. Then you can move on, again, kicking with that front leg, move on to a front leg side kick here, all right, front leg. All right, even if I want to switch legs, go with my left leg, front leg. All right. and then back leg, and then back leg, and then forward. And there we go. So this one, you're going to take some time. You're going to build up to it. Kind of like when we're doing front kick, how we built up. There's a beginner way and there's a more advanced way. Same thing with roundhouse. There's a beginner way. There's an advanced way. Once you get more comfortable doing the technique, you can just build. I'm all about building blocks and giving you the tools how to make things better, okay? So that's all for now. That's going to be our sidekick or yeop-chagi. Have a great rest of your day. Class dismissed.